Why is it so?
Yeah, because if you look at backwards, what has the investor really done for this country? All the mines, nothing. For me, I would say nothing because the dollar goes up, poverty still continues, trickles down.
But are you aware?
Wait.
Let me
finish.
Are you aware,
this.
really, that just last year, the mining sector alone employed over 32,000 miners?
If the Zambian says, wait.
You're saying that the foreign investors have literally done 0.0%.
You see where the problem is, Mr. Mansa? I don't see a point where I have to look for another country to come and run my mines, to come and run my natural resources. This is where we are missing it. There's no need for me to look for another country, because a foreign investor, remember, they come from a different country. And you are expecting another country to come and run your mines and expecting things to be okay in your country. For me, that I disagree. I would rather let the Zambians run and own the mines, and you see they trickle down. We are not supposed to be the import. We're not supposed to depend on imports. We're supposed to be a production. We have everything in Zambia. We have literally everything. But what we are doing,
Mr. Keith,
I want you to understand.
Yes,
I really want to understand.
Even as I understand what you're trying to subsequently say, seriously, soberly speaking, do you think we have the capacity as Zambians to run a mine?
Yes, why not? We have a school of mines. What is that school for? How many investors come here? Why do we have a school of mines, first of all? Why do we pay so much money to send our students to go and study mines? Some of my friends, they went abroad to go and study mines. Why do we have to send them? Why do we waste so much money to go and to send those guys to go and study mining? Why? Most of the engineers, if you go and ask them in Mupani and those guys have been abroad. Why did we send all those people? For what? This is why I'm telling you to say it's just common sense. Let's speak the language that everyone will understand. And the language that everyone understands is that Zambians must run and own the mines because we have enough capacity here. The government has never come to the Zambians and said, you people, let's run our mines. If you are told to say we need to run our mines, and this is the system that we are going to use. Take, for instance, if you look at the treasury bonds with Bank of Zambia, they use that system to say every Zambian, we need to run this mine, they have to be partners, let's put 1,000 kwacha each. How much money are you going to raise? If you have, let's say, maybe 10 million people interested to run the mines. And how much is the dollar going to be? And I can assure you, China will never even come. China will never come to...
Did you know what it costs for one to run a mine?
Very well. If another country can manage to run that mine, why can't you? Things that are just yours. You want me to come and run your house. Imagine that. Imagine that, how that frustrating is. You want me to come and... Wait.
Yeah.
You want me to come and run your house simply because you can't manage to run your house. No. People, we need to wake up. The mines, those are our mines as Zambians. Literally, if the investor comes here, yes, they will tell you they've employed this and that and that. Maybe we can employ more if we decide to run our own mine, because the money will be right in Zambia. The connection we have diplomats all over the country, the world. We have diplomats that we can connect to. If you want to sell your copper, you can easily use a diplomat there. With just a phone call, they will begin to arrange those things. Mind you, these countries, they want the copper. So if they want the copper, they will come and buy it here.
No.
Wait. You are going to decide.
That's wrong,
listen,
Mr. K.
No, it can be wrong, Mansa. That can be wrong. Because there is no way. My point is, I want to draw the line. My point is, why do you have to let another country which is a foreign investor.
It's not only Zambia. We live in a global village. We have Zambians that have invested in other countries. We've got people from Botswana that have invested in different countries. We've got South Africans who've invested in different countries. And by the way, even these superpower countries, they've got also other investors that have invested in their own country.
Very well.
What is your biggest issue with foreign investment, really?
The biggest issue is that practically I haven't seen how Zambia is benefiting. I haven't seen. Why? Because if it trickles down, the poverty levels are high, the dollar is going up every day. Even when no one is going out of the country, the culture is still going up. Why? What is it? Why are we missing it? No one is buying. I'll tell you one thing. Wait.
Yeah.
No, you let the people here there. Don't disturb me. Let me talk to the people. Because Zambian people right now, they are at pain. Because year in, year out, right now we are talking about the Mopani mine. 11,000 people, one time. Look at how that, why they are going to be laid down and we have no reserves. All the money is gone. Where are we? Do we need foreign investors to just come and dig our copper and go? Do you know how much things you'll find during the process of digging copper? There's copper there. There are diamonds there. There's gold there. So why can't we do it as Zambians? Why? Why are we even complaining that Zambia is poor? Zambia is not poor, Mr. Mansa. Let me wake you up. Zambia is not poor. Because what is cropped out of there is what I've made China or any other country to give you so much money as a loan. They will get, take, and give you the same money. Does that make sense for you? For me, if we have to start from all over again, let's start it. Because we can't let investors come here, they get everything that you know, pretending things are not okay, but they are the one. Where are they getting all the money to give you as a loan? To give the whole world to give the whole world as loans. Where are they getting that money? It's the country. Can they allow you to go and dig the copper from there, if you're told they had? Once we had the Mukula here. Mukula, which was a very potential to grow the economy of Zambia. But look at what happened. Right now, it's a nightmare. We don't even know what happened. You see, what we need to do, as Zambians, we need to take responsibility of these things. This dependence syndrome of wanting another country to come and run your own things is bad, very bad. We need to change our mindset, and the area we change our mindset, this dollar thing is not supposed to be up there. To tell you the truth, it's not even supposed to be at 19. It's supposed to be one. Wait, yeah. It's supposed to be 1-to-1 with the US dollar, because these people, they come here to crop our things, and then we look. If you go to the airport, the time when there's no COVID, what do? We go to China to go and buy, to come and sell. When they, when everything that they are using to make those things are coming from Zambia. Mukula, instead of really say we need to run our own, we need to do this. We have graduates, plenty graduates, agriculture, means of lands, what. Some of them are deep in those schools in America, Harvard University, everywhere. When they come back here, we don't want to take use of them. We would rather we take it very casually, let the Mukula go to China, they go and make a sofa, you come and buy it. Why? Why? No. Why? You ask me, why? Me, I'm asking you, Zambian, why do we have to go through that process?
Why do we have to go through it?
What have we done? We are a country, for God's sake. We are a country. We are not a district. We are a country. It's high time we begin to change the mindset. Investor is just, for me, is not giving anything. Let the investor come and buy the finished Mukula product and take there. Let the investor come and buy the finished cables. They will come. If you start doing those things in Zambia, they will come, and the area will wake up and see that whatever we are doing here, we are just playing games. The investor will never come here to come and employ. Look at the casualization that you see. You can't ask those guys that are employed by Chinese. How much do they get? 800 kwacha. What can 800 kwacha take you? Where can the 800 kwacha take you? And you want to call that employment? If we have to do, look, wait.
Yeah,
if we have every time, look.
I've got a lot of issues to really tackle, in this few minutes we've been given for this particular discussion. Just to be clear with you, I do not know whether you are against the idea of foreign investors coming to invest in our country, or you're against the idea of the deal that we're getting out of the investment that is done in our country. I don't know where you stand. Whether okay. you're against the foreign investors coming in our country, or you're against the deal that we get off that investment.
I'll tell you one thing. I think we would get a better deal if we change the mindset that anything that is big, that the gift that was given by God, like the mines, we have too much water.
Which one is it? Which one is it?
The mines?
No. Where do you stand really, Mr. Keith? Are you against the idea of investment, foreign investment, or against the idea of the deal that we get off foreign investment?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Number one, I'm against of us wanting to bring an investor, wanting to bring another. Let me use another country, because we are a country, okay? Because whoever is a foreign investor comes from a different country. We don't really know the agenda, but they come into Zambia and they become investors.
We're the ones who look for investors.
Yeah, we look for that's the mindset I'm talking about. We need to change that.
We need to stop looking for investors.
Yeah, really, we have a crisis at the Konkola copper mine. That issue hasn't been resolved. What are we waiting for? Are we really waiting for another investor? I think we need to come up with a plan.
I give you a practical example that even the superpowers, the superpower countries that we have in this world, the Americas of this world, I've got foreign investors. The Chinas of this world, I've got foreign investors. The Russias of this world, I've got foreign investors. And really, I'm going to ask you again, because I'm not getting a clear answer from you, Mr. Keith. Are you against a deal that we get off from the investors? Probably because we've not worked on our policy quite well, where we get, for example, a 90 to 10 deal or 50 to 50 deal. What is your big issue with foreign investors?
Mr. Massa, if China has to have a foreign investor there are very good rules that are put there.
So for you, it's about policies?
The policies we have, but I think we are not using them very well. Again, if you go to China, if China discovers they've got gold, they won't call you to go and dig their gold, bring it to Zambia and take it for them as a finished product. They won't. They will look at what you can invest in, and they will make sure that you invest into something that they are not even counting. But are you not?
Let's
something that is not even shaking.
Yeah, let's shift the conversation to a micro, perspective. I do know for a fact that I asked you a very important question as to what are some of the opportunities that we can see as indigenous business people amidst this, novel COVID-19. But let's, bring it to a micro perspective. What are some of the opportunities that we can take advantage of?
So I'll tell you one thing, the opportunity that we can get. If we have to be a production country, number one, we seriously need to look at it. Number one, the mines. Let the mines be owned by Zambians. Number two, the agriculture. The agriculture sector is completely, it's not there. It's not there. That's why we are called smugglers. To take minimum. Even when we know that there's an opportunity for us to sell finished meal to Congo, we still can't take advantage. Now, I want you to listen. Don't interrupt me on this one. Eh?
Yeah.
Look, we have a system in Zambia. We vote for councillors, MPs, and the president. If you look at the councillor, really the councillor, what does the councillor do? What do they do? You see that is completely. That's where now agriculture comes in. You see, we have rural councillors who are just figures to just sit in the council meeting. Nothing, you go there, nothing is productive. The government has each and every village a DAC officer who looks at agriculture. You go there, you find those guys are doing nothing apart from drinking chibuku. I've been round. What I'm telling you is what I see. And how do you expect agriculture to grow like that? So we need to be very serious. So the opportunity that we have in Zambia is agriculture. For me, I'm for the idea that these councillors that we vote into, they have to be productive. Let me just finish so that to come in.
Probably,
I'm sure this could be very important.
I think probably we might be digressing a little bit. My question, probably I ask it again. Let me bring you back to an earlier question that I asked. I said Zambia is an import-dependent country. We depend on commodities that we import from outside. Now that borders have been halted, it means that we're not having traffic of importing things from China, from these other countries. Yeah. And I asked you that, look, since we're an import-dependent country, now that the borders have been halted and no flights are coming into Zambia, except those that are essential, what opportunities can small businesses like yourself see in this, halting of these, halting of these, planes coming into Zambia that carry commodities that we import from outside?
You see, Mansa, I'll tell you one thing. It's just that you are stopping me. I'm trying to tell you the opportunity that we can use in Zambia.
And I ask you that amid this coronavirus, what? I do know for a fact that we need to take advantage of the fact that there's no any other commodity that is coming, into our country. But what type of investments can business people begin to really focus their attention on?
The mines have been taken.
Yeah.
So it's agriculture, and this is why I'm telling you. I wanted to draw you back from the councillor side because
let's pick it up from there.
Yes, this is what I was trying to explain to you, that you see we need to create an opportunity, and this opportunity I was drawing you backwards to the councillor.
Yeah.
The councillor, we will all know that it's just to vote for them, and from there meetings, what they do really you can't even see. But the attention that I was trying to draw the viewers and yourself is that, you see, the councillor need to be productive. Why the councillor need to be productive? Because the government have got every district they have, every village they have people that have learned how to do agriculture. They've been to school. They've been sent outside the country to learn how to do it. But those things are not working out. Now, I wanted to draw you out.
Yeah.
You say we need to make these. I'll go to the word later. We need to make these words very active and productive, and then we'll see that Zambia is growing in terms of the economy. We do not want to complicate so much to confuse people about these big words about the economy. This hasn't worked for us. Simple as all that. The documents have been prepared, big documents. They just finish preparing. They read to you. You get confused. It's buried, gone. We need to get down to the roots. What does the councillor do? Who are the people in agriculture there? I'll give you one simple example. I want to give you just one simple example. Every word, we've got so many words. If the government has to say, in every word we are going to put a canal, and where there's water, there's a lot of activities. You understand, eh? So that the farmers and the councillors and the DACOs there and the agriculture officers there, they are kept busy throughout the year. And you see how you are going to export finished product like meal meal. Just meal meal. Don't confuse people of diversification. This language, you've heard it so many, and it's just there to confuse people. We know what people are capable of doing. That's why, that's why I'm telling you to say we need to get to the drawing. And the drawing board is very simple. Huh? I've seen a lot of, I can call them educated people. They will come and tell you this thing.
I was thinking, Mr. Keith, you would bring people up to speed with the, the statement that the president made in regards to, we've got a number of shopping malls right here in Zambia. And now, and if you go to these shopping malls, most of the things that are there are imported things from South Africa. Now that there are no planes that are coming into the country, that means that they would depend on what we supply as local farmers, for example, the vegetables and all this. I was expecting you to drive the viewers to that particular opportunity that was backed by the pronouncement from the president. But earlier on, even after the outbreak of the coronavirus, we did hear different stakeholders, political parties, civil society organizations, and just ordinary people coming out in strongest terms that our country should go on total lockdown for us to manage the coronavirus. From the business point of view, what would have this meant? Peradventure, we closed down, we locked down our country.
But you see the problem, Mr. Mansa, that you are always stopping me. I want to explain to you that...
No, you did explain.
Wait, we would have taken advantage. I reached at the point whereby the councillors should be productive. When the councillors are productive, these shopping malls, those wards will be active. And I gave you a very simple thing.
Probably, maybe it was a long explanation.
Yeah,
that's why we had to get to other issues.
I want people to hear things that are very productive.
Yeah.
We don't want to speak things that can't happen. If you go to my village right now,
the
biggest problem they have is water. You understand? The biggest. So if the government can do a canal, even a 50-meter, instead of spending so much money into trips and other things, they build the canals in the wards so that the councillor, I'm talking about the ward because that's where the councillor starts, and those are the people that we vote for. You understand?
Yeah.
They must be productive, and this production has to trickle down up to the head. I was just telling you to say, if we had concentrated so much on agriculture, last year we have a lot of rains. What did we do with that rains? Nothing. Would have invested into rains and keep rains in every ward so that people in every ward are accounted to be productive all the time.
Let's get to lockdown.
So now, wait. So when they are productive, you have a lot of maize, vegetables, fish. You understand what I'm saying? So what is the hunger for? The councillor is productive. They know the councillor is working with the people, the agricultural people, and the engineers. You understand?
To me, you're sounding like you're answering a question on how can Zambia alleviate poverty. And you've given a proper explanation on how we can alleviate poverty and how these civic leaders that we select at a ward level can add to the developmental agenda of our country. My earlier question, maybe you missed my question, Mr. Keith. My question was simply, what are some of the investments that local business people can begin to invest in amidst COVID-19? Because we know that we've been greatly affected. But away from that, I asked you a question on lockdown. From the business point of view, and I want you to speak from a micro perspective on how the local businesses, the indigenous Zambians, would have been affected peradventure we went on lockdown. Just give us an outlook of how things would have turned out to be on local business people.
You see, most of the local entrepreneurs, they depend so much in importing stuff, more especially from China and Dubai.
Yeah.
You understand? And these are two countries where they really buy. You understand what I'm saying? But still, they've been affected because there's no one who's going out there. And this has been understood worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay? But I still have to trickle down to say, would have taken advantage. It's a wake-up call for us. It's a serious wake-up call for us. Would have taken advantage to say, what do we have as Zambians? And begin to invest into those things.
Yeah.
The number one thing that we need to invest into is the mines, because the mines are ours. They are ours. The mines are ours in the copper belt there. Kalumbira mine and everywhere. They are ours. Number two. Number two.
My question again, Mr. Keith. I don't want you to miss my questions. My question is, peradventure, because I did give you a brief background of how civil society organizations, how other political parties like the UPND, the NAREP, the NDC were calling for a total, complete lockdown. My question was, had we gone for a complete lockdown, what would have been the outlook of the business fraternity in Zambia, especially, on the part of the SMEs?
Now, I want to answer it straight, eh?
Yeah.
What do we call lockdown? Does it mean closing all the shops, closing everything?
A total, complete lockdown. What there's
because there was a lockdown in Zimbabwe. People were not they were not crossing in Zimbabwe. There was a lockdown in Botswana. People were not. There's still a lockdown in South Africa. People don't go to South Africa.
We're experiencing a partial lockdown in Zambia, but businesses are still running. For example, in Soweto, our women are still selling tomatoes, are still, the vendors are still doing what they are doing. Peradventure, all those, we are taken off the street for us to combat and just maintain the small number of coronavirus. And my question again is, if we took out those people that depend on a hand-to-mouth business, if we told them, no, because now we are controlling this coronavirus, stay home, what would have been the outlook like?
The outlook was going to be a disaster, my brother. It was going to be a disaster because 70% of the people are depending on hand to mouth. And right now, as I'm telling you, if I'm not mistaken, the government has no money to give those people. And even if they have to give those people the money, where are they going to buy? You understand? They'll just keep the money in their homes and banks. So still, it was going to be, look, it was going to be a serious disaster, such that those that are hand to mouth was going to be, it was going to be a crisis. Those that are depending on selling tomatoes. At least those that are selling tomatoes, they would have, maybe they were going to be eating tomatoes and vegetables. But what about you, who's in town here, where you have to depend on your vegetables, you have to depend on your meat, you have to depend on the meal. Definitely that was going to be a disaster, my brother. Okay?
Right. So
that was going to be a disaster. But I think the most important thing that we need to speak is how and how we should prepare ourselves for future.
For the future of the coronavirus.
For the future of the country.
For the future of the country. All right.
Yes, so, is how we should prepare ourselves for the future of the country. Coronavirus, yes, you can see most of the people are even flexible now. They are not even, I think you've seen. They are getting used to it.
We'll talk about how long probably it will take for businesses to bounce back post-COVID-19. But let me quickly punch in some of our callers that are coming through via our number, 0978594680. Thank you so much for those that are following us across the globe via our Facebook platform, Ask Muvi TV. Those that are within, the country, yours is 0978594682. And soon I'll be answering your calls. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Who is on the line and where are you calling us from?
This is Alan from Chama.
Mr. Alan from Chama, is that Eastern Province?
Now, Muchinga.
Muchinga Province?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please give us your contribution this evening.
Yeah, I've been following up for the discussion very well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how are you, Mr. Zitke?
Mr. Keith.
Kitchem.
Yeah. I've been following up the discussion very well, and I'm happy if we can have a lot of people thinking the way how Mr. Keith is addressing there. Because we should not be looking at the short term of how to handle it. Better, we should be looking at the long term.
Yeah.
And for sure, if Zambia has been owing the mind by its own, I think some of those problems that we are facing couldn't have been there. So let's be eye-open. Then also an issue of lockdown. If Zambia was able to be productive, I think that wouldn't have been an issue. Now, the way how things are, the situation, the way how it changed, Zambia is very productive. We are depending on buying things from other countries.
Yeah.
So it can be a very big disaster. I thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through, Mr. Alan. All right, let me just pick other calls. Mr. Alan is, commending you for how you are speaking. Let me pick another caller, and I'll be able also to read some messages that are coming through via our Facebook platform, that is Ask Muvi TV. Even before we can, respond to other callers that are coming through via our telephone number, 0978594682. Now, last month, the kwacha was listed as one of the most worst performing currency in the entire world, and prospects look bleak. And I want you to prepare for that particular question. I want you to answer how we can get back to the situation where we are at as a country. Are there any possibilities that the kwacha could go back to normalcy? But let me pick this caller. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Who's on the line and where are you calling us from?
Christopher from Seven.
Mr. Christopher, please give us your contribution this evening.
Yes, very expensive to send the Zambians to go abroad and source for the spare. So it was going to be simple for those mines to be run by them. For them to start importing the spares to run the mines, it was too expensive. That was the policy of the MNB government. But this time around, it's too difficult to invest that idea. I don't know what that man is saying, because he's saying that no, us Zambians were capable of running our own mines. Yes, but it was difficult at that time, because the government came up with the idea of bringing other outsiders to run the mines, because it was expensive to run the mines, both the machinery and other industries.
Yeah.
So that is my contribution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher. Right,
Can I just...
but just let me just pick two more calls so that you could respond to them collectively, even as our viewers want to get clarity from the arguments you're presenting. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, who's on the line and where are you calling us from?
Moses from within Lusaka.
Mr. Moses from within Lusaka, please give us your contribution.
My take is that, the cost of doing business, I totally agree with the gentleman. It's too costly for us as the, citizens to do business in this country. And indeed, these companies that have come to invest in our country, they live very little. At this time, we are wondering where they're getting the money in trading, donating billions and billions. And when their workers are wallowing in poverty, they cannot even get a loan to build houses. But we have seen that they are very quick at giving out money. Why can't they look at the well-being of their workers? That is our cry. So we are appealing to the government that indeed the government shouldn't just get excited by getting these donations, but it should also be an eye opener to say these companies are donating so much, then we should also look at the well-being of their workers. Very, very important. Let's learn a lesson from this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses. All right, let me pick my last caller for this first set of calls, and then thereafter you respond to, all of them collectively. Mr. Keith, we're discussing business in our work, in the wake of COVID-19. My guest is Mr. Keith, businessman. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, who's on the line and where are you calling us from?
From Kapiri.
From Kapiri. Who are we speaking with?
You are talking to Mlenga.
Mr. Mlenga, please give us your contribution this evening.
I feel the policy that have been made in our country are very flexible for the investors. So we are not benefiting much as our country. So I think the policy has to be reviewed so that we can also benefit as a country for us to stable the economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's begin with Mr. Mlenga's comment. Mr. Mlenga comes through from Kapiri and he says that the policies that are there, especially for the mining sector, are very flexible, and that's the reason why probably we're not getting a good deal out of the investment that is coming through from outside. Mr. Moses comes to and says that the cost of doing business is very high in Zambia, and that these investors that come to invest in our country live little. And he's surprised that some of the investors that have come to invest are donating thousands and millions to the fight against COVID-19, whilst their workers are wallowing in abject poverty. Mr. Christopher also comes to with a very important comment that, look, under the unit government, we ran by the policy of nationalization. That was that was what we ran by. And then when the MMD came into power, we went into privatization. The reason why we did that was because we failed to run our own mines, and we had to privatize for these mines to survive, for these mines to continue running. That's the reason why we privatized. And he's asking a question that, look, we failed to run our own mines as Zambians. Why are you speaking like that?
First of all, I want to thank Alan from Shinga.
Yeah. Let's begin from Mr. Christopher, who talks about the fact that we were under the nationalization policy where our indigenous businessmen and government was running these mines, but failed.
Okay, I think this is the mindset that we need to change.
But it's not lying. That is true.
Yes, that's the mindset that we need to change. Remember, wait. How many? No. How many? Let's not say we don't have the capacity.
But clearly,
we do. The capacity.
Listen,
the capacity we have.
What don't we have?
The capacity we have.
But
what we don't have is proper planning. The capacity we have, all this money that we have. The other year, were you not crying about fire tenders? What does that mean? People were crying about fire tenders. They were crying about ambulances. They were crying about, isn't it that money? Oh, those are monies. We're talking about a Eurobond. All those Eurobonds, if they were to be pumped into the mines, what will come out of the mine? You think an investor comes here to come and make a loss? The answer is no. Why is China putting shops everywhere? Why is it China is putting shops everywhere, even in the compound there? And what is happening? They are killing all the local businesses. Today, if you go to China and order things from China, it's not making sense because the Chinese himself is come here to plant a shop, and the same raw material that are getting from Zambia is made from China and brought back to Zambia by the same Chinese. They are not even trying to give you a chance that you can even go and buy the finished product from there. Come and resell here. They're not. And you want us to play the game like that? Mr. Christopher, we need to change our mindset because this is our country. It's like you say, I can't change anything because this was done. But a lot of wait, my man, because a lot of things have changed. We've seen a lot of things change. The government have been changing.
Let's quickly get to Moses. Moses says that he's agreed with your school of thought that, look, these investors live little in our country. And he's surprised that why some of the investors that are giving towards COVID-19 are donating millions, but their workers are living in abject poverty and they can't even get loans.
Let me just warn you on this one, Mr. and the viewers.
Yeah.
Give these investors 10 more years. You have nothing to sell. They will be making and coming and sell here themselves. And you will see what you are going to do. Because already we've seen the example of China. They get the raw materials, they take to China, they come as Chinese again to come and open these big shops. And what have happened? The Zambian has no room to trade. You go to China now, you'll be more expensive, they'll be cheaper. Right now, Chinese can't just give you a visa. No, I want to tell you.
Yes. Just where you are, and just connecting it to, Mlenga that is coming through from Kapiri says that probably the reason why we're not getting a good deal is because of our policies are very flexible towards these investors. Could it be the reason why we're getting a raw deal?
You see, this is why I'm calling for mindset change. Once the government looks at the Zambia as a country, not a Zambia as just a Zambia where an investor can just come and dig, depend so much on this dependence syndrome has to end. I wish I had the whole day, Mr. Man, so that I can really explain these things properly. Yeah. As Zambians, we need to wake up. And I'm just telling you to say, give these investors 10 years. You have nothing to sell.
I agree.
They will be the ones selling. They will buy the raw materials. They will be the ones again selling you.
And
so we'll see where now.
It comes back to the issue of policy. Because Mr. Mlenga said, look, our policies are really weak. And that's the reason why there's all this that is going on in our country. I agree with him.
Yes, I totally agree with him. And he's the man. He's the man because we really need to change our mindset.
Let me bring in Woinonga in this conversation. Woinonga, good evening and welcome to the program.
Hi, good evening, thank you.
Very well. What's your contribution this evening?
My contribution is, I totally agree with, I don't know the name of
Mr. Keith.
Mr. Chemo.
Yeah? What he's saying is the truth. You know, these Chinese are here to kill us. please, whatever I said, I totally agree with him. We really need to change our mindset. Really.
Yeah.
That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Wainonge. All right, so Wainonge comes on, says the Chinese are here to kill us. Let me pick 3 more calls so that...
point of correction, he didn't say the Chinese. She said the investors.
No,
and
she said
truly,
the Chinese. She said
the Chinese.
Yes.
And truly...
Let me pick this calls before you could respond to Wainonge. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, who's on the line and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Osaka, Mrs. Nyangwe.
Mrs. Sinyangwe, what is your contribution this evening?
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. K.
Yes, I totally agree with what the gentleman is saying. We need to believe in ourselves and say, yes, we can.
Correct.
We can try and error, but eventually,
Yeah.
we'll know what to do. If we keep on saying we can't, we can't. That's a very wrong mindset.
Right, thank you so much.
Secondly, you were asking about agriculture and the lockdown.
Yeah.
The president has been saying it, but is it in black and white? Because once this virus is gone, we might see the reopening of the borders again. So how secure are the farmers who would want to go into large-scale farming to be able to supply? They need to be assured that there's a policy supporting that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sinyangwe, for coming through. Let me pick one more caller so that you could collectively respond to the views and questions that are coming through from our viewers across the country. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Who's on the line and where calling us from?
I'm calling you from Osaka. This is Mr.
Mr.
Sinkara.
Sinkala, please give us your contribution.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I just wanted to find out. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Sinkala.
Okay, thank you. I heard the gentleman in the beginning of the program saying it. Only 2 sectors were affected with the COVID in Zambia. But is he aware to say the first things which were closed were schools, and we have private sector there?
All right, thank you so much.
And then the other thing, sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you're talking about the mining, the mining requires a lot of capital. And I don't think we have Zambians in Zambia who can, as their capital intensive, look at the government which failed to run mining. So let us be very serious and also be practical when we are talking about the mining.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sinkala, for coming through. All right, so let's begin from Mr. Sinkala. It firstly raises a very serious concern that probably you miscalculated when you talked about the sectors that were greatly affected, because for example, I do know of a few number of investors that are running, indigenous investors who are running, schools, like Rosia Siatambo, who runs Great North Road Academy, and it's been closed. So he gives a clarification and a correction on that one. But he's asking that let us be practical and realistic, Mr. Keith. Really, do we have enough muscle? Do we have enough capital for indigenous Zambians to invest in mining? Let's be realistic. Let's not,
My brother,
speak like we are.
No, I know we don't have enough time. But let me tell you one thing. You've heard of Jerabos. Just simple Jerabos there that are doing mining.
Yeah.
How much they boast about them having too much money. And today, we have people like Mr. Sinkara who thinks a country, not a district, a country having no capacity. So we are not a country. This is the mindset that we need to change. First of all, we need to count ourselves. We are a country, for God's sake. Mr. Sinkara, we are a country. So a country must manage its own natural resources. If an investor has to come here, they must come here to come and build the plants to make a finished product on copper, not taking copper. No. That's what I'm talking about. Digging our own copper when the Jarabo, a simple Jarabo can dig. So we are saying we can't do it? There was Sparks. Sparks is one of the richest boys. What does he do? Isn't it mining? He Sparks mines, isn't it? You agree with me? So today Mr. Sinkara is saying We don't have the capacity? No, that I refuse. I totally refuse with Mr. Sinkara. Number
Mr.
two.
Sinkala is speaking from a point of knowledge, because we did try
No.
earlier to you know,
we did
to have
not do
government
enough.
to have government
You know, I
be
don't
the
want
ones that are
I do
running.
not want.
You know,
you see, if there's
these
something that I don't want
important
to
sectors.
agree with, is the people like Mr. Sinkara, because this country has gone to where it is because of this same type of mindset. I'm giving an example, a very simple example.
Boy Nonge comes to and says the Chinese are killing us. Are you agreeing with that?
Yes, because look, they come here, they get all the raw materials. China they make, and now they are the ones that are opening the shops everywhere. Instead of letting the Zambians also have a visa, go to China, buy what the Chinese is making, bring it. Now they are flooding the market with all their Chinese product. Go to Kamara, my brother. The people that you are going to find there, the shopkeepers are now Chinese. So what are you going to sell?
But don't you think they've helped us greatly? Just being realistic.
Which help are you talking about? The culture is going up, my brother.
Haven't they built hospitals for us?
Which help? We would have built our own hospitals if we had to run things our own. Bigger hospitals, not these hospitals, begging hospitals. Big. For own information, we are running these things on Congole. For those that need to understand, we are running all these things on Congole. We would have done better if we had to run our own economy. You can do better if you run your own home. Don't let me come and run your home, because I won't do it better. I'll come and finish everything in you.
Mr. Sinyango agrees with you and says that we indeed need to believe in ourselves. But just even as I ask you two questions as we close and wrap up.
This is the simple. This is the mindset that we need. If all the Zambians, who told Mr. Sinkara that Zambians have got no money? If I tell you to say you need to put in a 1,000 kwacha because Zambia need to run the mine, if you put that 1,000 kwacha times 10 million people, how much money are you going to raise? If you use a treasury bonds, Bank of Zambia policy, you think you fail to put in? You think you fail to invest into the mine? No, you won't. It's the policy that we can just change. And Zambians are ready to do these things. It's simple. We don't need that mindset where you say an investor goes into their countries and say, okay, everyone, let them put so much so that we can bring more. Even the banks will give you the loan. If you go and get the 1,000 kwacha to put buying the running the mines, the bank will give you, because they know that there is a policy that will make you pay back. How much copper go out of the country? And every day we hear the same stories. How much copper goes into the country? It's not only copper, mind you. There's copper there. There's diamonds. Just on that sector, my brother. Go to the copper. Wait.
Before we get to the currency, we don't have time.
Yeah,
but we don't have time. I wish we could move on that. But just as you close on that particular aspect, are you for the idea that we should just get rid of these vazungus?
Number one thing, we should start investing in our own.
Should we get rid of the vazungus?
Natural resources. The investors come, but let them invest into the finished product, maybe in Zambia, not outside. If we need an investor, let an investor come. We dig our own copper, like Sparks. I'm giving a very practical example, like Sparks. People are saying he's one of the richest boy. What does he do? He digs the copper and sells. What does he make out of that? He becomes the richest. So why can't we do the same? If you want the investor, let them come here, make a plant here, buy the copper from Konkora Copper Mine, buy the copper from Karumbira Mine, buy the copper, and do the finished product here, so that China should come here to buy the finished product to go and use in China. That way, you will see that kwacha will be equal to dollar, 1-to-1, no doubt about it. But if you're going to have a mindset of Mr.
It could be
Sinkara,
that you've answered my question. Maybe let me ask you, so maybe you could answer it properly. Last month, our currency was listed as one of the worst performing currencies in the entire globe. And, the prospects look bleak. What could be done to improve the situation?
the same thing I've discussed. Number one, let's concentrate on agriculture. And I told you,
to
I was
improve
right.
the currency.
We need to, you see, do you know that there's a red market in Congo? Red market, if you have to produce enough, just maize, my brother. Don't even go anywhere else, just maize. This currency will be too much. It will go down just on agriculture. before you do anything. But the problem that we have, the farmers work so tirelessly. What does the government say? No, we're just maybe buying so much metric tons. The rest, you know what to do. No! Let's behave like a business as a government. That's why we have these institutions. A country is a business on its own. It must run as a business on its own. Once we begin to think like that, the agriculture will bring so much foreign exchange. For the past 30, 40 years, my brother, we've had a red market for Congo, just Congo itself.
I wish we could go on and on. Thank you so much.
But you see, let me just finish up by telling you to say, but you see, the problem is that when our farmer does so much maize, he's a smuggler.
Mr. Chemu, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate and we look forward to have you again.
Thank you so much. I wish I had the whole day here because I have plenty in my head. You know, Zambians must know that we need to wake up.
Those that are catching us from across the globe on social media, our Facebook page was Ask Muvi TV. Thank you so much. Those who are catching us via the Top Star Decoder channel 104, and those that were catching us live on the Muvi TV Plus bouquet and the MTN Plus application, thank you so much. We were discussing business in the wake of COVID-19. My guest was Mr. Keith Chemu. For now is goodbye. I'm Biak Dalison, and see you next week, Sunday, for yet another special edition of The Assignment. My name is Andrew. I'm Biak Dalison.